Cloud. Go. So welcome, Nicole. It's a pleasure to have you here today. I just want to kind of talk to people about your story and how your knee pain was really kind of getting in the way of everything you love to do, and what we did for you, and where you came from and where you're at now, and let's talk about that.
So the main thing is that it wasn't just getting in the way of what I love to do, but it was also getting in the way of my job. So ultimately what was happening was I was in the fire academy and I was working out and doing my CrossFit and squatting and PRing right up until I started the fire academy. And I guess apparently at some point during the academy, I took a blow to the knee.
Okay.
And didn't really, it's not even an incident, a moment in time where I'm like, oh crap, that screwed me up. You know, you just kept on going. No matter what, you had to keep going. And I didn't really realize anything was wrong until I started doing CrossFit again immediately after I graduated the academy. And I tried to squat. I was doing my warm-up weight, and lo and behold, I couldn't squat. Yeah. I'm like, okay, this is something's wrong. Mm-hmm. And I had to immediately after I graduated take a physical ability exam. Okay. For the department to be able to start the hiring process. And the first thing that you have to do is go on a Stairmaster with the 75-pound vest on for 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Okay. And I couldn't even do a minute on it before my knee was just completely shot. Yep. And I'm like, wait, I've taken this test before in California and this was never an issue. The Stairmaster was never the issue ever. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I got my first MRI. I'm like, wait. And lo and behold, the MRI just said I had a bone contusion. So I'm like, all right, well, that sucks because all I can do is wait. Yeah. And from what I was told, the bone contusion, it can take anywhere from 4 to 6 months to heal. Yeah. So I worked around it, did body stuff, and still was able to do some competitions and you know, my poor partners would have to compensate for me on certain movements, but it wasn't until my last competition was like, I need this, you know, it's been too long and I'm still not feeling any real progression. Mm-hmm. So I started to go through, you know, meeting up with different orthopedic surgeons. Okay. And start the interview process to see who and where and what I wanted to do and try to get more answers because something was wrong. Something was not right. And ultimately, that's when we had our discussion about going and meeting up with you guys and seeing what we could do to you know, get answers. Yeah.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't you have treatment by another doctor prior to this? Did you have an injection or something like that?
Yeah. So that was the big indication where, okay, I started the interview process with the orthopedic surgeons. Of course, the first orthopedic surgeon I met with was like, let's do a cortisol shot. And I was like, all right, I've never done any of this, but I've always heard people talk about these shots, these steroid shots. So I was like, sure. Like, I was never an athlete before CrossFit. I had I've always kind of like learned as I went on, you know, and he did this, he had his PA inject me with the steroid, and I was worse off than I had it shown up. And it was like that literally until I had my procedure with you. Yeah. I was more disabled to the point where for the first like 2-3 weeks after that, I had issues getting in my car.
Yeah. Well, and that's what troubled me, because I saw you on back channels. I saw you on like Facebook, and it was just something you weren't getting better. And I'm not a big person to jump into people's business. If they find us and they work with us, that's great. I appreciate that. but that's why I wanted to have this quick little check-in with you and tell you about, kind of your treatment. I'm looking at your MRI. You okay if I share your results and stuff? So
Yeah.
that's fun. Yeah. So she had a lateral subluxation of the patella, meaning the patella wasn't tracking very well. So there's actually a ligament called the medial patellofemoral ligament that exists on the medial side of the knee that really can help with some people who have tracking issues. And you had also a little cortical defect, a full thickness cartilage defect of the medial patellar facet. So I told you, I was like, hey, listen, I really like the platelet-rich plasma for younger people, but with something like a cartilage defect, I really want something more cellular. And I told her about the microfragmented adipose tissue graft that I think that really help with the cushion and support for the medial side of that patellar facet. Mm-hmm. And so we did that treatment now. I mean, how long has it been?
It was January 31st.
January 31st. And I've seen you on, Instagram, Facebook, all over doing workouts, getting after it. And I'm just super excited that you're able to do the things you want to do.
Oh my God.
Have you taken that test yet?
What's that?
Have you taken that test yet?
You know what, with the COVID-19, they shut everything down. So I'm using this opportunity now of this downtime to really start training again, because, I basically lost 6 months of my training, between June of last year to maybe like mid-March. Mid-March is when I finished my formal PT. And that was when COVID-19 basically shut everything down. Like, oh my God, right when I can get back to CrossFit, I can't even go to CrossFit anymore. Yeah. So the second I found out I can rent equipment and stuff, I snagged everything I needed and started doing some kettlebell workouts and started just moving again. And now and since then, I like in the last, what is it, like month and a half, 2 months now, I'm like pushing more weight, doing way more than I was after the academy, and it's like day and night. So
well, I'm super happy with your success, and that's why I thank you for taking your time today to really jump on here. And if anybody ever has any questions or any concerns, I'm going to post this to our Regenexx Tampa Bay Facebook page, and you can leave some comments below. I'm sure Nicole will be happy to talk to you if you have any questions about our offices in Tampa or Sarasota. So thank you for your time, and I'm going to cut off here, and then we can chat a little bit more offline. But thank you for trusting me and trusting our practice.
Can I add one thing about my experience with you guys? So as I was interviewing all these different, and I met with like the top orthopedic surgeons, and I met with you guys, and honestly, the amount of time you spent with me explaining everything that you were seeing in our ultrasounds and the whole process, and just from the moment I stepped into your office to the moment, every time that I left, there was always this sense of satisfaction, rather than everywhere else I went, I just felt like I was in an assembly line. Mm-hmm. And it was a quick 2-minute conversation, and then they moved on to the next. So that was something that really set you guys apart than the other offices. So.
Well, thank you, and that's something that really means a lot to me from a perspective that we really want to make sure that you get back to what you love to do, but we also want to make sure that we give you the time that you deserve to discuss and explain to you your condition, and make sure that we give you realistic expectations. And I'm glad you're doing so well. And so thank you again. Let me just cut this off for a second. We'll talk for.
Got it.